You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Welcome to Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast on BQN. We're here to showcase the films you probably missed, but should definitely check out. From independent and obscure to art house and absurd, each episode will gather with perhaps a cocktail in hand to discuss it all. I'm your host, Mark, and with me today, of course, lovely as always, co-host Matt Jennings, and the star of the new social media network, BlueSky, everybody's best friend, including Rosie O'Donnell, I heard. Yes. Mel Larson is here. Hi, Mel.
What is up, guys?
The celebrity herself is in the house.
Just pre-claiming my climb and calling myself the mother of BlueSky. I call it BlueSky. It's easier than BlueSky. So, hi, I'm here.
Hello.
Literally, you're our first internet celebrity. I'm so excited.
I am not an internet celebrity. It's not about me, and I'm doing it all for good.
You have over 20,000 followers. Yes, you are an internet celebrity. Thank you.
Oh, go on. I'm going to wield my power for good, not evil. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
Well, she is right now laying on this beautiful ornate couch that's like Edwardian, and like there are actually authentic like paintings behind her that are hundreds of years old. This artwork
in my boudoir,
and I just the crystal chandelier that's just hanging near you. I mean, and you're telling me that you're not, rich and famous? I don't know, but
I am wearing a red velvet gown / bathrobe type thing. So I love it. And
it's so dramatic.
A white fluffy cat, so to speak.
Hi guys. Hi everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back. What's everybody drinking tonight?
I'm having air. I am having air for my beverage.
It in, Breathe it in.
Don't stop that. Keep going with the air.
Yeah, I'm breathing it in.
It's important. I'm drinking. Okay, this is going to sound crazy, but my middle son's super into Philip K. Dick right now, and he read a drink in one of his books that there was no name for it, but we now call it butterscotch, which is scotch warm with honey and a little sliver of butter on the top. And butterscotch. It tastes exactly like butterscotch. That is so good.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So if butterscotch catches on, it's because I'm internet famous, guys.
I gotta invest right now in butterscotch.
It's so good. It's just scotch warmed with honey. You mean like not even fancily on the stove. Just put it in the microwave and then put a tiny slice of butter. I'm telling you.
I'm so curious. Okay.
And then let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I wanted to be on brand this week, and I was trying to think, I don't know, Bob Dylan, I don't know, folk music, something folky. So I was thinking, I don't know, my default, whiskey ginger. I love me some whiskey and some ginger beer. It is tasty. I don't have a tin cup this time, but glass will do.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I do want to ask this. I think we might have missed a week, but I want to ask what everybody has been watching because I have one. But anyway, I'll let you guys first.
I have rewatched Patterson, the movie, Jim Jarmusch movie Patterson with Adam Driver.
Jim Jarmusch.
I love Jim Jarmusch.
Dead Man. Yes.
I love Adam Driver. And so if you haven't seen
and he was also in The Dead Don't Die. Adam Driver was in that, and that was also Jim
and
Jarmusch,
a little movie called Star Wars. So yes, he was.
Okay, but that's not Jim Jarmusch. If Jim Jarmusch did Star Wars, I'm sure it would kill. But
anyway. No. I thought you meant Adam Driver. No, yeah. So this movie is very, as you mentioned, folk music. It's kind of quiet and contemplative. And he is a bus driver in Paterson, New Jersey, and his last name is also Patterson. But he's a poet, and so a lot of the film is just his poetry over scenes from him driving around. It's just the best, quietest, cutest movie, and yeah, I recommend highly.
So I have defied Wicked. I've defied gravity. And I've seen Wicked. I intend to go again. So full disclosure, full honesty, and people will probably say I'm a terrible homosexual for saying this, but I'm not a major fan of the musical. And that's not because I think it's bad. I think it's a good musical. It's just I worked at a theater, and a touring version of the show made it a home there for about a month, 2 months. So I just saw it too much, and I couldn't after a while. So I stopped appreciating it. And then I went to see the movie last week, or the week before last. I went with my mom to see it. And I have to say, I like the movie more than I like the musical. Again, not saying that the musical is bad.
Right.
It's just that I think that, with the medium of film, sometimes depending on what choices are made for that musical that you're turning into a movie,
Yeah.
you can enhance certain things, you can add to certain things. And I think that there's a lot of stuff about Elphaba that I didn't quite get or didn't register until I watched the movie.
Awesome. And I love her. Oh my God. Cynthia Erivo. Come on.
My God, that voice.
Did you know she is dating Lena? I think her last name's Wade. The woman who, yeah.
Oh.
Is that not the cutest couple?
Oh my gosh.
I know. I just saw that. I was like, this is gossip that people need to know. That's a good couple. I know.
Okay, me.
Yes, go, Mark.
No, because just like I have one this week. I'm all excited. So I finally got to see Alien Romulus. I wanted to see it in the theater, and my partner Andy is really big on horror films, and I was like, oh, and he likes Alien. So I thought he'd want to see it, and he had zero interest in going. I was like, seriously? So I was waiting until it went streaming, and it's on what is it, Hulu now? I think Hulu or HBO.
It's probably
Max
like on Hulu and probably Disney because it's a Fox property, right?
It's
so
Hulu
weird,
now.
but yeah.
Listen. So I've seen a bunch of the sequels to Alien, and I didn't exactly have high hopes, but I kind of heard good things when the movie was in the theater. Like they used a lot of practical effects, that it was like a more back to basics type of storytelling, and it was good. This takes place around the time of the first one, either just prior or just after. I think it's just after the first movie. So it's in that time period, and there's some surprises in there. And if you're an Alien fan or a horror fan or just a sci-fi fan, it is really good. I definitely recommend Alien Romulus. Check it out.
So very quick confession. I have never seen Alien. I know.
Shock and awe.
But I have seen Alien versus Predator. I'm so sorry. I've seen Alien versus Predator, and I've seen Alien Resurrection.
I wish you were my neighbor so I could just come over and slap you. Oh my God. The cinephiles listening that actually appreciate good film they're clutching their pearls.
I know. I'm so sorry, but those are the two that I've seen: Alien Resurrection and Alien versus Predator.
I have a confession. I've never seen Aliens either. The first Alien I've never seen.
You've never seen the first Alien either?
No, I'm not a scary movie person.
No, but the thing is like this movie, it's one of those, they talk about films, they talk about Kubrick's 2001 as being a movie that reset sci-fi from being spoofy to being more serious, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And in this movie, Alien was the first one that bumped it in the whole other genre, where like it was literally terrifying. You weren't terrified with 2001, but this was the first terrifying sci-fi film. and the heroine, being Sigourney
I mean,
Weaver,
Sigourney. I can't think of that movie.
Come on,
This
guys.
is what I think of when I think of that movie. Is her. See, because this is what I do. Instead of watching movies, I read about movies. And she would not shave her pubic hair in that famous shot. You did? In the famous shot of her in the underwear?
They had to airbrush it.
Yeah, they had to airbrush it. And this was in the, 70s, early 80s?
They paid a lot of money to do that.
A lot of money because she refused. And I'm like, yes, bitch. Yes, bitch.
Oh, wow.
But I'll watch it for more than just the pubic hair.
You should, definitely watch Alien for more than just the pubic hair.
Okay.
But check it out soon.
Noted.
Alien is not about the pubic hair. That's the message.
That's the message of this week's episode.
That's the gospel.
Established one thing today. It's
not
Alien's not about pubic hair. Okay. All right. Moving on. Listen, guys. Okay. So today we're discussing the film I'm Not There. It is a 2007 musical drama film directed by Todd Haynes, who coincidentally directed a film that we talked about last year around Christmas, which was Carol. But anyway, I didn't do this on purpose. This was an accident.
He's brilliant.
He's brilliant.
Correct.
This is an experimental biographical film. It is inspired by the life and music of American singer-songwriter Bob Dylan, with 6 actors depicting different facets of Dylan's public personas. Christian Bale, Cate Blanchett, Marcus Carl Franklin, Richard Gere, Heath Ledger in his final film to be released during his lifetime, and Ben Whishaw.
I love Whishaw.
I do too. A caption at the start of the film declares it to be inspired by the music and many lives of Bob Dylan. This is the only mention of Dylan in the film, apart from the song credits, and his only appearance in it is concert footage from the 1966 show that he did during the film's final moments. So, cool. I'm interested to know why you guys wanted to watch, and then I'll explain my rationale for this pick.
I'll go. I'll just say that for me, I'm interested right now, especially in movies not directed by white straight men, and there's a more interesting way for stories to be told. And I like this movie because it just what you just said, other actors portraying him. For me, what it did is it made me picture him. Even though he wasn't on screen, it made me picture him more having other people play him. And I think that's kind of a magical way to contextualize somebody that big.
I've got to say that for me, I wanted to watch this movie when it came out years ago because I saw Cate Blanchett as Bob Dylan in either a clip or a trailer. And I love Cate Blanchett. I think for me, I'm not going to say too much because I'll end up going on and probably answering questions. But Cate Blanchett was the reason.
And that's a great reason.
It is a good reason.
I have watched many films because she was just in it casually for 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, where's Kate?
I just recently rewatched Ocean's 8. And it's it's a fine movie. She is so fucking hot in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Everything she wears in that movie, I'm like, I want that. I wouldn't look like Cate Blanchett in it. And I don't know where I'd wear it. But holy God, she is so hot in that movie.
She's smoking. Yeah.
She is. And she's, not young. God bless her.
Oh, yeah, but she has money.
Money does make up for that.
That's true.
Money makes people more beautiful, or can. It has the potential if that's where you spend it.
I'm gonna count on that and focus on it.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's the second lesson of the day. Money can make you beautiful. Physically.
These are important lessons to learn.
We're learning a lot today. For me, this was something that it's another one. I told you, I've just been interested in the oddball things that nobody else watches for a very long time. And I did actually go see this in the theater. I was a big Heath Ledger fan back in the day. So I was seeing it, yes, for Cate Blanchett. I've always been obsessed, but also Heath Ledger. I wanted to see him in this. And oddly enough, I was seeing this in the theater, and the credits rolled and I was leaving the theater. And as I was leaving, I think I got the message that Heath had died. And I had just seen this. So yeah, I'll always remember that about this film, like seeing it, appreciating his acting, and then, leaving and wow, and being really like upset by it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think it was Batman, but it wasn't. I think about his last work as
this was the last one to come out during his lifetime. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Because he won the Oscar, so people, and then it was posthumous, so people, I think, attached the Joker to his last movie. But
and he was in another one after that too.
What was it?
We'll get into this in the trivia.
Okay, all right.
I will mention the film is called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. If you haven't
I know
seen
that.
it, check it out.
Oh, that's right.
Terry Gilliam directed it, and he had also previously directed Heath in The Brothers Grimm.
Oh, right. I love that side of
We're
Heath.
a film pod.
We are. I mean, 10 things. I have to throw out 10 things I hate about you because oh my God. Oh, he's so good in that movie. So hot too.
But yes, this being one of those films that just the cinema nerd in me loved. I grew up listening to Dylan. My dad is a huge Dylan fan. Shout out to my dad for getting me turned on him at a young age. I've seen him multiple times, like in concert. So this was a no-brainer for me to check out the film when it came out. But this has been one of those things where it was like, I don't know where I'm going to fit this into Cinema Z's programming.
Right.
And it's been on the back burner. And this is the only time this pod I'm going to mention this, and then we're going to walk away from it. But I needed a cleanse after recent events and after our previous episode where we went a little on the dark side. I just needed a cleanse. So so this is a reset, and we're starting fresh, and we're going.
Yes,
we're doing it. The first topic here, I kind of want to get into breaking down the various characters and their significance. Now, I've got little details here about the characters that we can read, and that's cool. But I also want to pause with each character, spend a minute, and just talk about what each of these different variants of Dylan meant to you, and what your first thoughts were on them. But before we get into that, I do want to read something that Todd Haynes. It's a little Todd Haynes trivia about his rationale for splitting the man Dylan into these different parts. Todd Haynes and his producer, Christine Vachon, approached Dylan's manager, Jeff Rawson, to obtain permission to use Dylan's music and to fictionalize elements of Dylan's life. Rawson suggested that Haynes should send a one-page synopsis of the film for submission to Dylan. Rawson advised Haynes to not use the words genius or voice of a generation. He hates that.
That's done. Don't even try it.
Don't. Yeah. The page Haynes submitted began with a quote from the poet Arthur Rimbaud. I is something else, and then continued, if a film were to exist in which the breadth and flux of a creative life could be experienced, the film that could open up as opposed to consolidating what we think we already know walking in, it could never be within the tidy arc of a master narrative. The structure of such a film would have to be a fractured one, with the numerous openings and a multitude of voices, with its prime strategy being one of refraction, not condensation. Imagine a film splintering between 6 separate faces, old men, young men, women, children, each standing in for separate spaces in a single life. And with that, Dylan approved it. And people have been at him for decades and decades to make movies about his life, and he has, shot down all of them, but this was the first that he approved.
I think that speaks to kind of what I was saying about white straight male directors, and that they always want to, not always, but oftentimes want to make the epic. They want to start at the beginning and how they got famous. I mean, think of Ray, think of Great Balls of Fire, like all these famous musicians, and they start at the
Walk the
beginning.
line.
What? Well,
Walk
yeah,
the line.
perfect example. They make this epic, overarching, this is their story, where I find it's so much more telling if you take snapshots and just tell the stories of those moments and let the viewer put it together as who the character is. And this movie perfectly does that.
You get a more sense of who the man is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to say that the way that this story was told, it is so, again, I always say this, a movie is a good piece of work when I can see it as a theater piece. And this is so theatrical in
good
execution, in using different actors of color, gender to tell these different stories about Bob Dylan. I think it's so interesting and so creative.
I agree. That is such a good point, Matt.
It's
see it on stage. Like now I can really picture it on the stage.
Oh my God. Especially I think the scenes with Bruce Greenwood, shout out to Captain Pike, but with the moments with Bruce Greenwood and his character constantly showing up in the different versions.
He's the reporter, right?
He's the reporter, and then he pops in again at the end of the film as what would he be considered, the mayor of that town at the end of the movie?
Or like somebody with authority. It's just
was he the mayor or was he the sheriff?
Was he the sheriff?
Anyway,
I don't know.
Bruce Greenwood is highly underrated.
Oh, he's so underrated. His accent was great too.
Yeah.
He's like.
I'm just thinking when he played one of the Kennedys, and what is that movie?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But
he played Bobby or RFK. I can't remember which one. About the Cuban Missile Crisis. That's a really good movie too.
But this film is just so theatrical. I could absolutely see this on stage. I would love to see it on stage, actually.
Yeah.
But I really appreciated this kind of storytelling.
So the first character that we have here, Arthur Rimbaud, I want to know, did either of you guys, do you even know who that is? Does the name ring a bell to you? Did you know anything about Arthur Rimbaud?
No.
Melly?
No.
Okay. So Arthur Rimbaud was an actual person. This is somebody that Dylan read a lot of books on when he was growing up. Arthur Rimbaud was a rock star of his day, but he was a poet. So he was a poet rock star, right? So he was born in 1854, and he was known for his transgressive and surreal themes and for his influence on modern literature and the arts. Rimbaud was a libertine and a restless soul, having engaged in a hectic and sometimes violent romantic relationship with fellow poet Paul Verlaine, which lasted nearly 2 years. So he was also gay, by the way.
Interesting.
Gay in 1854 and a poet and kind of a rock star. Anyway, after his retirement, we've always been there, people. Just throwing that out there. Gay isn't a new thing. Anyway, after his retirement as a writer, he traveled extensively on 3 continents as a merchant and explorer until his death from cancer at just 37 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So in this film, Ben Whishaw essentially plays Arthur Rimbaud as Dylan.
Yeah.
So it's a hybrid of that poet, that French poet, and Bob Dylan. And so he's sort of part kind of narrator in this film.
So good, Ben Whishaw.
Yeah, what did you guys think of that character, that version?
I just like anything that he plays. To me, just his style of acting has such gravitas. Even when it's silly or, off kilter, sometimes he plays wackadoodle characters. I don't know if you ever saw the British show The Hour. So good in that show. And I just think even if he's doing, what's his? He's the gadget guy on James Bond.
Q.
Q. He just has even when he's being kind of silly, like in that movie, he just has a gravitas about him. So I just thought him as a narrator was such good casting because to me, I automatically listen to him.
Yeah.
Well, I think that he has such a power, the actor specifically has such a power and subtlety
Yes.
in his performance that is
not subtly.
Huh?
I said yes. I say not subtly at all.
Yeah, and it's magnetic.
Also
And
gay.
yes,
Shout out.
also gay.
Yes.
And I think that again, it's just I think he was a great choice for the role, and I paid attention. I think especially the moment where he starts to list out all the different rules of what to do when you go into, I can't remember their word, seclusion, when you go into hiding.
Yes.
No, I like him.
Well, the next on the list here is Jack Rollins. Okay. So Jack Rollins is essentially the embodiment of Dylan's meteoric rise and fall from grace. Dylan rose to prominence in the 60s with songs like Blow Into the Wind and The Times They Are Changin'. And they became, anthems for the civil rights movement and anti-war movements. Initially, molding his style on Woody Guthrie's folk songs, Robert Johnson's blues, and what he called architectural forms of Hank Williams' country songs, Dylan added increasingly sophisticated lyrical techniques to the folk music of the early 60s, infusing it with intellectualism and classical literature and poetry. His lyrics incorporated political and social and philosophical influences, defying pop music conventions and appealing to begrudging counterculture.
And what an interesting casting for that part of Dylan's life, and that because I think Christian Bale kind of, in a smaller, different way, reflects that same kind of boom. He was really young. He was a kid, and he was in that. What is that movie he was in as a kid? And he was so good in it.
Thank you for asking me, but it's the red something under the red sun or sky or something.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Is that the movie where I'm thinking Red Dawn? That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh God, that's my era, honey.
Wolverines!
Wolverines! Don't get me started. No, that it is.
Oh, I'm thinking Empire of the Sun.
That's it. Empire of the Sun. Good job.
And he filmed that in 1987.
I mean, really.
Wow.
The year I graduated from high school. Holy God, that was a long time ago.
Directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, it's a good movie, and he is a little kid in it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then he did Newsies. Don't get me started on Christian Bale.
That's right.
Think he's chameleon.
Yeah, he absolutely is. What I look for with Christian Bale, because he is such a chameleon, is I look for how deep is he going to go into this role. And so it's got to be, I think it's earlier on in the movie where he's being interviewed. Maybe it's the first couple of minutes and he's like cradling the guitar.
Yeah.
And he's just leaning over the guitar and just cradling the guitar. And it's like, oh, he's in it. He's in it.
I know a lot of people that I wouldn't expect to be fans of this particular film, but the American Psycho.
Oh my God.
And what he brought to that.
And director, by the way.
Female director. Yeah, female director. But that film, and that's another one that we should probably at some point cover on here, because it is an art house kind of indie film that made a buttload of cash because of how original it was and how good the acting in that.
Young Reese Witherspoon in there.
Yep.
It's stacked with people.
Yeah, really is. All right, guys. Well, I'm very excited to talk about this next character that we are introduced to, Jude Quinn. Now, this version of Dylan represents a young man dealing with the vices of stardom that came with his meteoric rise. Jude Quinn attends Newport Folk Music Festival, where he comes on stage with a band and then imagines himself in the band pulling machine guns out and shooting the crowd. Now, what I love about that is that he knew what he was doing, and this is something that actually happened. He didn't actually Dylan didn't shoot anybody, but
Right.
he literally he went to the Newport Folk Festival, and everybody was really excited to see him play Mr. Tambourine Man and a whole bunch of his hits. And he gave all of his fans that have propped him up for years the middle finger. It was like, no, this is what I'm doing now. Deal.
Yep.
And he brought out electric guitars and just started jamming.
For the first time.
And it pissed off a lot of people. It pissed off so many people that Dylan actually had to cancel his tour in the States and just move it overseas. And he toured around Europe instead.
Of course, Europe's going to accept it. Americans are so stuck in our stuck in our ways.
But we also have the choice here of the god of cinema here, Cate Blanchett, embodying Jude Quinn, which in my opinion, this is just my humble opinion, but of all of the Bob Dylans, I feel like she was the most Dylan, oddly enough. That's me.
What I'll say about this, and not in terms of the Cate Blanchett's version of Bob Dylan, but just the Bob Dylan at this point in time in his story.
Yeah.
This is the Bob Dylan to me that I see where he is grappling with and kind of defending his artistry.
Yes.
It seems like at this particular point in time, so many people are telling him what he is or what he's supposed to be, or penalizing him for not playing his hits and going to the festival and playing the guitar, or not, I guess at this point in time or certain points in time, not having music with a political message, if I'm getting the story right.
Yeah.
And each time that Dylan is saying, I'm not this, it's not about this, or this is what I'm doing now, or in so many ways, it's him saying, how do you have the right to have ownership over my art?
Right.
And how do you have the right to tell me what it is?
And especially an artist that's so kind of movement dependent.
Yeah.
What better of a person to play that kind of change moment than Cate Blanchett, because she's so powerful that you pay attention to what it is the character's going through. She's perfectly I mean, she's brilliant anyway, but she's so perfectly cast there.
I think that there's very few. I think one other person, I think maybe Tilda Swinton, but that's it. The two of them just are incredible. Yeah.
I think that, also just from watching the different Bob Dylan's, the different actors portray them, what I really enjoyed was watching each actor's take, and each actor kind of saying, oh, I'm going to pick from this, I'm going to pick from that from Dylan, I'm going to pick from this from Dylan. So with Christian Bale, for me, it was a bit more of the posture. I mean, the voice was there, but the thing that caught my eye was his posture over the guitar. I mean, Cate Blanchett had that posture as well, but the voice for me really struck me with Cate Blanchett's was the voice.
Yeah.
Well, moving on, we have Robbie Clark. So just a little background here. In 1973, Dylan starred in Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid in this movie. It was an American revisionist Western film directed by Sam Peckinpah. He was at the height of his musical career, and by the late 1970s, his marriage to Sarah Lowndes was ending. And the Robbie Clark character sort of represents this aspect of Dylan that had it all and threw it all away. So I want to know from you guys how you felt not only about this version of Dylan, what you connected with this particular storyline. Charlotte Gainsbourg was also played his wife in this, Claire, and just what was your take on this particular element of the story?
I'll just say that I find Charlotte Gainsbourg's casting very interesting because, her mother is Jane Birkin of the Birkin Bag. And she was...
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And she was a very famous it girl of the 60s and 70s. So when I saw that they cast her to play the wife, I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing, Todd. I get you.
Yeah, trying to break that fourth wall a little bit.
Yeah, totally. I feel like this whole movie does that in a weird way. With casting and just dialogue, all of it, which is very Dylan.
Yeah. There's a lot of this movie. I just keep picturing in my head like a fucking onion, because you keep peeling it back and peeling it back and peeling it back, and there's just more layers under the layers under the layers.
Yep.
It's a very, very dense film, and putting together the script was not easy. And I talked to Mel a little bit about it beforehand, because it is so layered, and I could spend we could devote probably an entire season of Cinema Z episodes to this movie because of all the layers of this onion. So focusing on a few things that we want to touch on was really hard for me to step back from, because as a Dylan fan, I'm recognizing the names of certain characters, or a reference to this song or that song, or this particular moment is alluding to this thing that happened in his life. And I could just keep going. So it's stepping back and sort of allowing this to be what it is sort of what I had to do today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear that from you, because you have a connection to his music, where I don't really have a connection to his music other than a cultural icon moment. And yeah, maybe I should get into it a little bit and then rewatch the movie. So I'd like to have that deeper onion, as Donkey and Shrek would say, take of.
Mel, I will literally I'll send you because I try not to overwhelm people. So I will send you 3, maybe 4 tracks.
Okay.
That I think
I will allow
you will be into. And if you're not into any of them, then you can walk away and just enjoy this film.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a deal.
I was gonna say, looking at this version of Bob Dylan, because this is the Heath Ledger version that we're seeing, it is very interesting to see the contrast between the other Bob Dylans that are, I think, more of just the artist. I guess with the exception of Richard Gere's Bob Dylan, that's more of the recluse. But the majority of them are the artist, the philosopher, and
poet.
the poet. And this version is, I don't know how to word it, but you see the imperfections, and you see a little bit of the romance of the artist and the poet, and you see the romance of all that go away with seeing that this person was a full human being. He wasn't just an artist. He wasn't just groundbreaking, which I know is not the word to use, but
I get it.
You see someone that had some issues. I mean, the scene with him and his.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Oh man, that scene! I was actually kind of I thought for sure Mel was going to bring it up, because it is so cringe. But anyway,
I like to bring up the cringe.
Well, no, it was because it was so misogynistic.
It was
incredibly
misogynistic.
Yeah,
and
it's one of those things, like, if you sanitize it, and it's of the time. I think we make the mistake of sanitizing everything so that it appeals to today's mindset in the audience's mindset. Whereas, and then you don't learn anything, because we need to know that we've come far. If you don't see the growth, you don't know there's growth.
But yeah, I say all that to say, we're seeing the person that is imperfect. We're seeing a full human being at this point in time. And I think, with biopics as well, it's not that biopics don't show the ugliness of the character, or of the heroic character that, or figure that that they're trying to tell the story about. It's just that, again, sometimes it's a little sanitized.
Yep.
And this was ugly. This is nasty.
Yeah,
it was. And it wasn't like physically, there was no hitting or anything like. No, this was just. It was ugly in a different way, just like one human speaking to and treating another human in a certain way.
Yeah, degrading a human being with.
Yes, and that is abuse. It doesn't have to come with this.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. For me, what I appreciate about this particular storyline is because you can see the love, and this version, a lot of people that have written about and talked about this film have considered this to be like the heart of the entire story, and this is sort of the heart of the story of Dylan is in this arc. And I think you can see a little bit of it here because you can see the beginning of their relationship when they first meet and sort of their intellectual discussion sort of at the diner. And then, their romance with them, jaunting around on his, motorcycle. And it just sort of grows and you can understand why the two would end up together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then the tour. So he's on tour all the time and they're separated and it's, he's so famous. And then you can see sort of what happens in these situations to a lot of people where the relationships just sort of go separate directions. And it's a full story arc here that maybe we don't get maybe with some of the other ones, because a lot of the other segments of Dylan, the other plot lines sort of focus on one particular moment or time. Like the Arthur Rimbaud's character, for example, is just essentially he's giving interviews like the entire time. We don't really see him interacting with a lot of people. And the young Woody Guthrie character, you see him a little bit gallivanting around, bumping into people and singing, but there isn't like this full story sort of arc that you see with this one. So that's what I just want to point out about this particular iteration. And I do love Heath Ledger's acting in here. We lost him too soon.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's very Todd Haynes to drop in. We're going to analyze and celebrate and iconize this figure. I think I just made up that word, but this important figure, and then drop in a little dirtiness, because it's not perfect. The road is never perfect. People are terrible at times in their lives, but they're also not terrible at times of their lives. And at what point do you step aside and value them or appreciate them for what they did and not for maybe the other stuff? It's separating the art from the artist, that whole thing.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because you talking about that makes me think of Carol and Cate Blanchett's character in that, where you're rooting for her, but she is going around on her husband.
Yeah, she's messy.
Yeah, she's messy. She's a problematic heroine.
And that's what I love. It's more interesting, isn't it, than this glorification of this huge tidal wave of popularity and fame and success. I want to know that other stuff too, because it makes them who they are.
Todd tells human stories.
And it influences their art. And if you don't know the whole story, then,
Well, we do have one more iteration of Dylan here. And this iteration is called Billy McCarthy. And through the film, we see Billy, played by Richard Gere, seemingly thinking back on the other Dylans. So Billy is based on both the Dylan who withdrew from public eye after his motorcycle crash in Woodstock, and the seldom seen sort of older Dylan, the recluse, that withdrew from public spotlight. Billy is an aged loner, seemingly of the Old West, who lives on the edge of a town called Riddle. And what I love about this version is we've seen many different aspects of Dylan, but this is, I feel like, the Dylan in his own mind or in his own making, right? So this is his creation. We're seeing the Dylan through, although Dylan is walking through the world that he created through his poetry and his music and his songs, and we're bumping into all these characters that, and I talked to you guys a little bit about this beforehand, but a lot of these characters, the names of these characters and stuff, the scenarios that are happening and the jugglers and all of this stuff, a lot of this was coming up in Dylan's lyrics, especially early on in his career. And so this is like spending time in that alternate universe Dylan world that he actually created. And it was really cool. I thought that was an interesting way to tell the story too. But I mean, that's me. What did you guys think about it?
I mean, that's really interesting now that you put it that way, because I was trying to figure out the why, if I'm very honest with you.
That's great. It's fine.
Because when we when we bounce back and forth in Dylan World and Richard Gere's Dylan, and then when we spend more time there towards the end, I got on the surface towards middle, towards the end. Okay, so he's going off the grid. I got that part of it. It didn't really register to me that this was his world now. Like, this is who he really is behind closed doors. That makes so much more sense to me. Yeah, I was trying because, I mean, again, you see some of these characters, or maybe just one. No, you see some of the
Well, you're seeing
elements.
Dylan from the outside, different aspects of him from the outside.
Yes.
Then this last character, this is the inside.
The inside, yes. And that makes this make much more, that world specifically make much more sense, because I was having a hard time with that one. That makes sense.
It's a little. They got giraffes in there, and you're like, "Where's the giraffe?"
I was like,
from?
why
And the
is there a
midgets and-
giraffe? Geographically, this makes no sense.
It's like how wackadoodle his personal life has gotten because
The
of his thing.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I took it. Like, it's like Michael Jackson and the monkey, right? It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorry.
I was going to say that I was thinking that it was also a little full circle in regards to the beginning Dylan that we see, the Dylan that we see at the beginning of the movie, because we go back to him at the end of the movie, the Richard Gere Dylan, and he's back in a boxcar. He's got his guitar. It's dusty now.
But if you remember, there was that line from from Arthur Rimbaud in the film where he says, "Never meet yourself."
Oh my God, you're right.
And then, of course, at the end of the film, he comes face to face with himself.
Yes,
as the little boy. Yeah.
And can I tell you, because we didn't really talk about the little boy. Do you have plans to talk about the little boy?
Yeah, we did talk about him.
Okay.
But anyway, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
Oh, I skipped him.
No.
I skipped Woody.
But I like that Woody and
Sorry,
what Matt
guys.
said with Richard Gere's character and the Woody character being the bookends. That's a really good point, Matt, because it is, like you said, Mark, you're meeting yourself, and you know yourself in that way as a child. And as an older person at 55, I can tell you that you kind of re-meet yourself towards when you get up there a little bit, and you think about that person you were as a child. And I found it very emotional. I found the child character. I cried both times I watched the film when the child character was on, because there's a sadness there. There's a childhood introspection that's not shown on film very often. And the fact that they had it portrayed by a young Black actor, it just really resonated with me. It just made me say, look at what this country is. Look at how things were done normally, and it was considered normal at the time. And look where we've come since then, which is we need to be looking at ourselves, which is him at the end of the movie. For the giraffes and the wackadoodleness of it all.
Yeah.
You need to meet yourself more than once in life. And I just found it very emotional. Like, I'm feeling kind of emotional thinking about that little boy. It's an incredible portrayal.
I think this is a great segue because we missed it earlier, but I'm gonna listen. This whole movie is about cutting it into pieces and throwing it in a random order. So here we go.
Right.
Let's put Woody here and talk about Woody here. So Woody Guthrie was an American singer-songwriter and composer who is one of the most significant American folk artists of all time. His work focused on themes of American socialism, anti-fascism. He inspired several generations, both politically and musically, with songs such as "This Land Is Your Land." And this was actually, it's interesting that they called the young boy Woody Guthrie, but I know why they did, because when Dylan was growing up, this was his idol. This was like the person that he admired the most.
Right.
And so you have this young boy that he's traveling around the country, and he's also calling himself Woody Guthrie after the singer-songwriter.
Yep. It's sad to me. Why is it so sad? It's like how childhood memories are beautiful, but it's sad at the same time.
Well, he's alone. He's he doesn't have a family. He's trying to make friends along the road, but like even those hobos on the train, they try to rob him.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is too, is like thinking about it, he's also as an artist, he's in his infancy in a
Right.
way. You know, he has that moment where he's having dinner with the family, and the head of the house, oh god, I can't remember her name.
Mm.
But she just says, doesn't she say something like tell your own story?
Yep.
Yeah. Sing about your own time, child. Think about your
Right.
own time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he's, oh god, I'm trying to remember the lines, but he's got a line about, oh, I don't know, I think this is what I want to do, or I want to talk about this, or I want to do this. This is what I want to do. So we're just, yeah, we're watching the innocence and we're watching the infancy of an artist as well. And artists, you know, I mean, artists are always, you know, artists are always evolving. I think that's kind of, you know, one of the points of this film. But,
Right.
you know, I can say personally, and then, you know, just from observing other people when they're starting out, sometimes, you know, people are like, well, what do you want to do? Or what's your angle? What's your blah?
Yeah.
What's your this? And you're kind of like, oh, I don't know. I think that it's this, and I think that it's this. And, you know, and it takes a while for you to
Work it out.
yeah, articulate that voice.
Yep.
You can see, you know, at one point he's giving a little concert for some guys in the living room.
Right. Yes.
And
yes.
but to me, I'm looking at it as like you have this young black musician, and these two white guys are sitting there trying to figure out how to make money off him.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Like, oh, so he's had no formal training, and so they're already thinking about exploiting him. And so
Yep.
that is like part of the arc of Dylan, and part of the arc of all of these iterations of Dylan was the fact that he was this child prodigy, and he was exploited by
Yep.
people, and that sort of turned him into the monster that he became later on.
Isn't that interesting? Because it's kind of self-fulfilling and also reflective of Black history in America. The fact that they picked a young Black actor, and then they showed white people exploiting them.
Mhm.
First of all American folk music is rooted in roots, Black
Yes.
roots. Like you mentioned,
Yes.
Robert Johnson. That's
Yes.
like so many things artistically that originate in America. It starts with Black culture, and to show that him being exploited and that turning him into something that people didn't like very much that's exactly Black history in America.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me think of, you know, when we're talking about folk music and, you know, think about country music as well, you know,
Yes.
I'm thinking about Beyonce
Yes.
not getting one nomination
100%.
at the CMAs
Yeah.
this year.
Yep.
Not
And-
one nomination. And that itself is
Right?
such a slap in the face, and also clearly done on purpose and out of offense.
Well, guys, I want to know this. Do you guys think that to appreciate this film, you need to be a fan of Dylan's music? Because I thought the listeners of the pod might want to know this before they dive into the film. Some people might see it and be like, oh, well, I don't like Dylan's music, so I might not want to check this out. What are your thoughts?
I'll say for me personally, because I'm not a Bob Dylan fan, I think that there's going to be an extra layer of appreciation that you will have with the music choice. Because I mean, and I'll say for me, I just saw, you know, I talked about the last pod that I was on. I saw Piece by Piece, the Pharrell biopic with Legos.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I need
And anytime that one of his songs came on in that film, I thought, oh, that's a great choice for this moment. Oh, that's a great choice for this moment.
right.
And I get the emotion that they're trying to convey with the use of this song. And I, you know, bits and pieces here and there, I understood a little bit with the Bob Dylan with this film. I would have understood it and appreciated it more if I was a fan. So I will say that. But as an artist, and as a, you know, appreciator of storytelling, I think you can still, it's a piece that is going to make you think. And I think if you're willing to go on that journey, it's still is still a reward at the end of this
Yes.
movie.
Agreed.
So
I agree completely. I would say the same thing. I'm not a huge fan of his music. In fact, when you asked me about being on here, you're like, "Are you a fan of Bob Dylan?" I was like, not really." But I do love this movie. So I think that you can do one with the other, but it's enhanced like by what Matt said. And if you recognize the importance of certain song choices, it does make it better, even better than it already is.
Yeah, I definitely was geeking out hard over so much of this. It was like, you know, like a Star Trek fan, seeing Easter eggs in their, maybe their favorite episodes or whatever.
Right.
It's like this movie is just all Easter eggs for
Right.
hardcore Dylan fans. Yeah,
God, I
for
love
sure.
an Easter egg so much.
But my whole viewing is tainted by that, the love of
Oh,
Dylan's music, the love of
interesting.
Cate Blanchett, for example. Like,
Right.
Right.
all of these
Yeah.
reasons that I was already watching it. So I can't really step back and be objective. But I thought maybe you guys would be able to come at it from a more objective standpoint.
It's a
Yeah.
great movie. I love how it's put together. I love Todd Haynes. It makes me appreciate Dylan. I will admit that. I was glad to rewatch it with that in mind. And it's just beautiful. The whole thing to me is just so introspective and beautiful. It's how movies should be made.
I
Makes
really agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it is so theatrical. And I think, as an artist, I think when I was watching the segments, especially with Cate Blanchett's Dylan, where they were talking about, well, why don't you care about something? And but your music is political. Why isn't it political? And how can you not care about blah blah blah? And
Right.
I was on that train for a little bit. I was like, wait a minute now. If you're not if you're not doing this, if you're not being then what are you doing? But at the
Right.
same time, I was like, wait a minute, this is an artist, and I'm in that place right now where these people are trying to tell him what he's supposed to do with his craft.
Right. And isn't it such a modern context that everybody now constantly reinvents themselves to stay relevant?
Yes.
And it's the only way it seems, or they all think, or we think this is the only way to stay relevant. And he did it, and people pushed back against it.
Yeah.
So
And he also, at least from what I can tell, he was doing it, but it was a natural
right.
thing for him. This just
Yeah.
was who he was. Whereas
It wasn't a
now,
marketing move.
huh?
It wasn't a marketing move then.
No, it wasn't a
Yes.
shtick. Yeah.
It wasn't a marketing move. Whereas, now it's, are you posting? Are you doing this? Well, you need to do this. Post a thirst trap. Do this. Do this. You got to do this. Share this.
Well, guys, uh, I think our listeners are probably at this point. They're like, are they going to do the thing? Are they going to? They're going to do the thing, right? Yeah, we're going to do the thing.
We're doing
So it is time once again for Director's Cut.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
So in this segment, we talk about and replay some of the scenes from the film. And we obviously don't rehearse ahead of time because we're just, chilling. So I have pulled, I think they're kind of in order, a few scenes to replay. And this first one, I thought would be cool. And we didn't actually spend a lot of time talking about Woody, but I do have this first introduction to Woody as being one of those scenes I really enjoyed about the film. It really, each scene or character we meet in this film has its own genre to it. And this is sort of the troubadour, young, railroad tramp that is just sort of making his way around the country. And I just sort of love that. And I wanted to pull this scene from there. So
can I really quick throw in there that
yeah.
Mad Men fans, which if you're not a Mad Men fan, what are you doing with your life? But they have an episode called The Hobo Code. And it flashes back to the same time period in America. And
that's right.
There were codes that when they would travel from family to family, say, can I clean out your barn if you'll give me dinner? Things that people had to do to survive in the 30s and the Great Depression. And they had little codes that they would write on the fence posts of whatever houses, like this. A code means that they have a mean dog. This code means they're Christian. This code means, and so other hobos, when they were approaching those houses, would know kind of how to play it as far as getting a meal. And so I thought about that episode a lot during this movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Mad Men. I forgot about that.
I don't know what season or episode, but it's called The Hobo Code.
I think it's one of the later ones because we start actually diving into Don's past.
Yes.
Mark. You get it.
Let's have an episode where we just talk about Mad Men.
I can't believe you like the show. I mean, there's some moments in that are real, for today's sensibilities, real cringe. But I love it, but I'm just surprised you do.
Oh, I do. And I could go on, but I won't.
Okay. Well, we have in this scene, we have Hobo Joe, Woody Guthrie, and it looks like Hobo Mo. So there's Mo, Joe, and Woody. And I don't care here.
I'm going to say Mo because I'm Melissa, and that makes sense to my brain.
All right, then I'll be Joe.
All right. And I will be Woody.
No,
And it's not just because you're black.
It's okay. I mean, how often do you get to be 11 years old again? So
that's true. You have the sensibilities for it too, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Action.
Hey, how old are you, boy?
11 years old.
Oh, what's your name, son?
Woody Guthrie.
Just like the singer.
Way I see it, singing's kept me right in this world more than any Bible's ever done. And something else I learned takes just about a fountain pen to get yourself robbed.
Hey, Joe, what do you make about that?
Son, you wouldn't be stashing no weapons in that case of yours.
No, sir. Not in a literized way. Truth is, my mind got mixed with rambling when I was so young. I reckon it was Villa Gray, the blind protest singer from Chicago. She first taught me the blues for about 5 years back. That's also when I first started writing songs on my own. I've written some hillbilly songs, Carl Perkins from Nashville.
Yeah.
He sings some of my songs. Yep, talking blues kind of stuff, Union songs. I also played piano with Bobby V. I would have been a millionaire if I stayed with him.
Well, what brings you around these parts?
Carelessness.
Cut.
How cool is that? What brings you around these parts? Carelessness.
I love that last word, careless.
And it says so much in one word.
Right?
Very well written.
The listeners are probably like slightly confused. They're like, wait a minute, that scene? Because I spliced. There was a scene in between both of those moments that took place in a whole other time period, but I put the two together. I thought it would be cohesive. The next scene we have here is between Robbie and his wife, Claire. And this is sort of their introduction. This is when they first get to know each other, and you're learning a little bit more about, what their drives are. And I think this does, again, I think it does point Robbie in a good light here. Yeah. Because he's letting her know off the bat that he's not the person that he was portraying in that particular scene. He's his own person.
Right.
But, he invites her on the journey and says, hey, this is how I feel about stuff.
I'll be Claire.
All right.
But I'm not going to use a French accent, even though I really want to. Who's Robbie? Who's my Robbie?
Mark, you want to do Robbie?
Okay. Nice to be Robbie. I'm going to channel Heath Ledger here. Holy shit. That dude's a titan.
Action.
Wait, you're French?
Yeah, so?
You gotta be kidding me.
Why?
No, nothing. It's just perfect.
You kidding? I think you're making a joke.
No joke.
Then what else, aside from being French, you like so much about me?
Your hair, your mouth, your eyes, your lips.
I see. So, you're an actor.
Yeah, so?
I like what you said in that scene.
What scene?
But they were just lines from a movie. They were not...
Wait. What scene? What did you see?
The scene in the lane.
I
would like to know what it is at the center of your world.
The center of my world? Well, you're not monkeying around.
Why? It's very simple. This question is very simple.
Well, I'm 22, so I guess I would say me.
I suppose you're honest.
Well, don't you think that you're the center of your world, or should be the center? Thinking with your own head, talking with your own mouth?
Yeah, but there are things in the world too that are important.
I'm not denying that. That's not what I'm saying.
Cut.
She's skeptical, just like me. I like her.
I appreciate that she doesn't let him get away with anything.
Yeah.
I
She's
like
like
that.
calling him out without calling him out.
Mhm. Well, guys, the next scene here, I talked to Matt a little bit beforehand. It was very hard to get scenes from this film because where a lot of movies, I'm able to just pull like actual like scripts. This one, I think some of the scripts that were uploaded were like AI generated, and all
Oh,
of the characters were sort of pushed together, and their names weren't written, and a lot of song lyrics were incorporated in the dialogue because it happens at the same time. So it was
right.
very, very difficult. But I did get those first couple. And then I think I got this one separate on a whole other site. But it's a small scene, but it's, I think, an important one. And I want to include one with Jude Quinn here. So this is Jude getting confrontational with one of the interviewers, and I think it was the Bruce Greenwald character. I think so.
Yeah, the Bruce
Keenan
Greenwood.
Jones. So I'm actually I'm going to omit myself from this one. I'll let you guys pick who wants to do what for this one.
I am the non-actor of the two of us, so I will go with Keenan because it's short.
Okay, I'll do Jude.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good.
You're so good at it.
Thank you.
Action.
Doesn't really matter, what kind of nasty names people invent for the music, but folk music is just a word, that I can't use anymore. What I'm talking about is traditional music, right? Which is to say it's mathematical music. It's based on hexagons. But all those songs about, roses growing out of people's brains and lovers who are really geese and swans are turning into angels. I mean, they're not going to die. They're not folk music songs. They're political songs. They're already dead. You think that these traditional music people would gather that mystery? It's a traditional fact, seeing as they're all so full of mystery.
And contradictions.
Yeah, contradictions.
And chaos.
Yes, it's chaos, clocks and watermelons. It's everything. These people actually think I have some kind of fantastical imagination. It gets very lonesome. But traditional music is just it's too unreal to die. It doesn't need to be protected. You know what I mean? In that music is the only true valid death you can feel today. Of a record player. But like everything else in great demand, people try to own it. It has to do with like the purity thing. I think it's meaningless is holy. Everybody knows I'm not a folk singer.
Cut.
It's so words with such image building in my brain. That whole last section. Doesn't it make you just picture stuff? It's amazing.
Yes.
There was a lot of monologues
Good
here.
writing,
Like I could
man.
have just done different monologues for this
Yeah.
section. I almost thought about it because there's a lot of really good ones here. Speaking of, and the reason I omitted myself is because the last scene in here isn't actually a scene. I did want to include one of the monologues. And this particular one, I just think it's timely. And so that's why I wanted to include it.
Yeah.
Again, we're trying to reset here, people, but I did want to say this
Yeah.
in this pod. So without further ado, I will read. This is a line from the Billy the Kid version of Dylan.
Action.
People are always talking about freedom to live a certain way without being kicked around. Of course, the more you live a certain way, the less it feel like freedom. Me, I can change during the course of a day. I wake up and I'm one person. When I go to sleep, I know for certain I'm somebody else. I don't know who I am most of the time.
Cut.
Gravitas. Well done.
Thank you. I did. That was one of my more favorite little monologues that are in this, and
It makes me think about what you guys said about having to meet yourself at certain parts of your life.
Yeah, because you do change and grow as much as you don't think so, and maybe you can't see it because you're so close.
Right. Wait till you're 55, honey.
Yeah.
It's really easy then.
Well, that brings us to the final topic here. One of the final topics. Rewrites. So let's say that you were tasked for making this Bob Dylan biopic yourself.
Oh boy.
What would you change about it and how?
There is one thing that I know. This is just an aesthetic thing that I would change. And it is the scene with Christian Bale when he is playing the version of Dylan that makes the semi-gospel song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in terms of the makeup choice, and this could have been my imagination, but it looked like they did try to make his skin a little bit darker. And his hair was definitely teased or
Yeah.
picked out to be
Yeah.
more curly.
Yeah, it
Um,
was. Oh my god, I didn't think of that.
And I think that again, with the aesthetic that they were going for with the different Dylans already, I could tell that was already kind of baked into the choices overall
Yeah.
for the different characters. But it wasn't necessary to give him a an Afrocentric aesthetic with,
Right.
slightly
Mhm.
darkening his skin and making his hair look more curly, because the point is that we get that he has been transformed, at least at this point in time, by going to this church,
Yeah.
speaking to this ex-girlfriend about praying,
Right.
and we already see it in that way, and you've already made a choice to show us these different versions of Dylan. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I would have changed.
You know what? I'm looking at it right now, looking at a picture of him. You're right. It's so interesting. What a great take. Thank you, Matt. I'm acting like I'm the host, but that is so important, I think. My only thing would be that I wonder if Ben Wishaw's character would be more impactful if it wasn't just like kind of with that same basic background. I love what he's wearing, love the little bow tie, little bow gives him a little sense of poetry, I think. But I don't know. I just think maybe a little more scene from something where he was telling somebody about this instead of just sitting behind a table and talking. I don't know.
Yeah. His character definitely was the least fleshed out, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The movie to me is perfect, so I had to really stretch there to pick something. To be honest.
I like that rewrite though, because I love Ben Whishaw. So it would have been kind of cool to see more of an arc with that particular iteration. So I
Yeah.
will agree with you there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and on to standouts. So in this section, we're going to mention things that maybe we liked about the film that we haven't previously mentioned already.
Gosh, I feel like I mentioned all mine. My big like is the casting and the writing, big time. But I can't think of anything else on top of what I've said. I just think people should watch the damn movie. Just go watch the movie.
I don't know. I can't.
Are you stumped like me?
I'm kind of stumped because all I want to keep going back to is talking about how it was told in a nonlinear format,
Yes.
nonlinear format that made it feel so much like it could have been a stage piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I just keep going back to, and I keep wanting to see. I think, oh God, that would be such a treat just to see these different actors play different versions of Dylan and come out and have different monologues and different scenes on stage.
I agree. That's such a good idea. Make that happen. Play one of them.
You have to be, I have to learn a lot about Dylan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Matt would have to be a Dylan fan for
I'd
that.
have to learn a lot about Dylan, but
That's true.
I would love to see that.
Well, for me, as far as stand-ups, this is something we haven't touched on, but there's a lot of musical acts in this that aren't Dylan. Now, Dylan does. There's moments in this film, obviously, where we hear Dylan's voice singing, but there's a lot more where there's other really good artists covering various Dylan tunes, and I love this soundtrack so hard. It's actually helped me discover artists because there were artists that were on the soundtrack for this that I didn't know who the hell they were, and I checked out some of their music and I was like, wow, this is some really good stuff. So I want to shout out for the soundtrack because it helped me discover some cool artists.
I'm looking at it now, and actually, yeah,
It's stacked. Yeah. Okay, guys. Moving on to trivia.
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 I've got a rep to protect.
All right. So no, we're not gonna be asking questions this time. We can just read them. So we'll just take turns going down the list. I'll start off, and then if you want to go Matt and you Mel, and we'll just go in order.
Okay.
All right. Colin Farrell was originally cast as Robbie Clark. He dropped out of the film to admit himself into rehab for a dependency on back pain medication.
Oh boy.
Heath Ledger replaced him, and then Farrell would later take over for Ledger in the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus after Heath Ledger died.
Oh, that's sad.
Cate Blanchett wore a sock down her trousers to play Bob Dylan. The actress said, "It helped me walk like a man."
Bless her.
I love her.
I hope it was a big sock.
So method. Okay. Different sections of the film were inspired by different cinematic sources. The Jude section was inspired by 8.5. Great movie. The Billy section was inspired by the so-called hippie westerns of the late 60s, early 70s, such as Sam Peckinpah's films, which everybody should be watching, by the way.
Mhm.
And the Robbie section was inspired by the films of Jean-Luc Godard, especially masculine, feminine. Jean-Luc, come on. You cannot miss out on the French New Wave.
Oh, no. Oh, yes, absolutely. Hey, Mel, I am with you. Mel, I am with you. I'm nerding out so hard right now. Oh, I have a nerd boner. Anyway, keep going.
That's it. You take that nerd boner into number 4, baby.
Chris Christopherson, who narrates the film, is a friend of Bob Dylan, and they both appeared together in the film Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid.
Todd Haynes noted that when he got his favorite actor and actress Christian Bale and Julianne Moore together to shoot the still photographs early on in the film, how different their acting styles were. Moore kept joking and laughing with Haynes, and only a few photos could be used where she had a straight face, while in every shot, the more method-based Bale appeared serious and intense.
Julianne Moore, come on.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen that Billy on the Street episode where they have her in the middle of freaking Times Square break into one of her famous monologues from one of her famous movies. And she literally she's laughing and joking and then goes into this character and starts crying with all these people surrounding her going, Julianne, in Times Square. She's amazing.
I've got to see. I haven't seen that. I got to check that out.
Check out that episode because
the Julianne Moore conversation that we've actually brought her up a couple of times this episode. It got me thinking that really, really soon in the pod, maybe in the next couple of months, I want to do A Single Man.
Oh my God, so good. Colin Firth. That's a great movie.
But her acting in that is incredible. She plays, the best friend of this gay man in the 60s, and she's in love with him and spends her whole life pining for him, but she can't have him because he's gay. But they have this really great friendship, and that's another film that I know Matt will love because it's very, very much a stage play.
Wait,
I love it.
I remember this now because I haven't seen it in 10 years.
Yeah,
I remember now. I haven't seen it in 10 years, but oh my
this
God.
One.
Huh?
You saw this one?
I've seen this one because I remember the scene. Oh God, it is so heartbreaking. It's when Colin finds out about his lover.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Wait,
anyway.
Oh wait, no. So okay, no, never mind. I'm not gonna. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
We know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. Oh.
I think people should see this movie. It's really kind of important.
And actually, Don Draper from Mad Men is on the other end of the phone during the conversation. Okay, meta.
Trivia within trivia.
God.
Yes.
Sorry. More trivia. More trivia.
Moving on.
In the Jude storyline, when Jude Quinn is revealed to have originally been Aaron Jacob Edelstein in high school, the picture shows Christian Bale, although the Dylan in this story is played by Cate Blanchett. Wow, I had a lot of trouble getting that out because it's confusing in the movie and in speaking.
So they used a childhood photo of Christian Bale as the childhood photo of Cate Blanchett's Jude Quinn.
Oh, that is so meta. Love it.
The final film starring Heath Ledger to be released during his lifetime.
All of the adult actors who played an aspect of Bob Dylan: Christian Bale, 6 feet, Cate Blanchett, 5'8", Richard Gere, 5'11", Heath Ledger, 6'2", and Ben Whishaw, 5'9", are all taller than the real Bob Dylan, who was 5'7.5".
Oh, wow.
Do you know the average age of American male is 5'7"?
Age?
Not age,
Height.
height.
The
Yeah.
average height of it, really?
Yeah, I looked this up because I just wrote about being tall and dating. Yeah, 5'7" is average.
Wow, it's
I'm a
interesting.
tall girl, guys. 5'7" is not going to cut it.
I love it. I love it. Yes. This is the first film starring Christian Bale and Heath Ledger together before The Dark Knight in 2008, in which Bale played the Batman and Ledger played the Joker. In a Superman comic, issue 279 from the 1970s, a character who appears to be Bob Dylan, but referred to only as Bobby, meets Batman at a benefit concert. Years later, the music video for Dylan's song Joker Man features a picture of the Joker drawn by famed DC Comics artist Carmine Infantino.
Oh, that is like a little swirly swirl of trivia. I love it.
I do too. Such a nerd. Again, geek boner. All right. The title of the film is taken from the 1967 Dylan basement tapes recording of I'm Not There, a song that had not actually officially been released until it appeared in this film's soundtrack. Well, guys, when I was thinking about what we could do for final thoughts, I was wondering what we could possibly give out this week. And I landed on Dylan's because there's a bunch of them. So we're going to go give out 1 to 5 Bob Dylans.
I give it 5. Just jump in and say I think it's important, interesting, and people should see it. Really should see it. I was excited when this was the subject because it's important filmmaking.
I am gonna give it. I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 Dylans.
Ooh, scandalous.
4.5 Dylans.
There'll be a baby Dylan in there.
Yeah, there's a baby Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you guys are going to be shocked here because I picked the film and I'm going to give it this ranking, but I'm also going to give it 5 Dylans.
Shocker.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the layers. I love the complexity. I think, we were talking about this film and I couldn't help but think back to Dead Man, another film that I had picked back a while back. And that one was also layered and it was a black and white film and Jim Jarmusch and whatnot. And I like films that make you think. And I also, like Matt, appreciate films that could also be done on a stage. If you strip everything away and you could still have the film, I appreciate films like that. I don't go watch the Transformers. That's why we're not that kind of podcast.
Right.
That's not my thing. These are the movies that we cover here for a reason.
Yeah. I always say I like small movies for a reason.
Yeah.
It might not be smaller in scope or money or who's in it, but just smallness on a subject without bombasticness. I think I made that up too, but they hit harder in my opinion. They're just better movies.
What shows are on BQN, you ask? Well, here's a rundown of some podcasts you might be interested in. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast covering all of Trek, hosted by Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. Whether you've got Xbox or Nintendo, check out Bargain Bin Gamer, a YouTube show hosted by Davey and Mitch, self-proclaimed gamers who specializes in reviewing and showcasing affordable video games. Grab your popcorn as you listen to Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast showcasing films you probably missed but should definitely check out. Hosted by Mark and Matt. Don your apron for The Food Replicator, where Matthew eats and drinks his way through Star Trek Cocktail and 3 cookbooks. Beam Aboard Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast covering all of TNG, hosted by Steven. In order to not repeat it, listen to History with the Szilagys, a snippet of historical events from around the world hosted by Chrissie and Jason. For the newest Trek coverage, check out Infinite Diversity, hosted by Chrissie and Thad. Curl up with a good book and delve into Beta Canon with Peter, host of the Trek Book Club on Twitter and BlueSky, and his companion Trek Book Club podcast. Test your Trek knowledge with Treksperts Quiz, a Star Trek quiz show hosted and written by Davey and MC. If you're a member of Starfleet Federation or Planetary Union, go check out Union Federation, covering current Star Trek and the Orville, which we all know is really a Trek show, hosted by Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley. Head over to YouTube and watch The View Screen live on Sundays, your Trek-inspired talk show hosted by Calvin and Amy with new 8-week seasons in the spring and fall. Spill the tea with Christos while he discusses current Trek news and events and explores the world of fandom via guest interviews, all with an LGBTQIA+ perspective on What's the Tea Bev. And for our patron members, we have the Hive Mind with script readings and roundtable discussion, It's Green, a cornucopia of topics, and Amy's Math Moments, a quick look at math moments in Star Trek. You can keep up with all of these shows by following the network at BQN Podcasts on Instagram and BlueSky. We know you have a choice of podcasts to choose from, and we thank you for listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Well, Mel, you are going to be in such a good spirit hearing about what our next film is. Now, Matt is going to be the host next week. What are we going to be talking about?
So, on next week's episode, we're going to be reviewing The Woman King. This film was released in 2022. It was directed by Gina Prince Bythewood. Gina Bythewood, thank you.
She's amazing.
Absolutely, and written by Dana Stevens. I think this film is just amazing. It didn't get enough credit.
Agreed.
But that's one of the reasons why I wanna talk about this movie, especially now. Synopsis is, in the 1800s, a group of all-female warriors protects the African kingdom of Dahomey with skills and fierceness unlike anything the world has ever seen. Faced with a new threat, General Naniska trains the next generation of recruits to fight against a foreign enemy that's determined to destroy their way of life. I remember seeing this movie and absolutely loving it. I adore Viola Davis.
Right.
I don't think that we've reviewed any movies with Viola Davis in them.
It's about fucking time, Matt.
Yeah. She's the center of the universe of good acting.
I swear to God, I call her my Hollywood mother. She doesn't even know it, but I call her my Hollywood mom.
She's mind-blowing in my opinion.
She's mind-blowing. The performances in this movie, the production, to see women of color portrayed in this way.
Yes.
Obviously, we had Black Panther.
Yes.
We had Black Panther as well a few years before that, but this focused on Black women.
I like this better.
And
I like Black Panther very, very much, and I don't watch superhero films, but I did really enjoy the first Black Panther so much. But this is better. And
also it's a Black woman director, Gina Bythewood, and she directed Love and Basketball, which people should see. But especially,
no, she did not.
Yes, and she did a really good movie nobody saw with Gugu Mbatha-Raw, which is a very fun name to say when you're naming actresses, and it's called Beyond the Lights. Have you seen Beyond the Lights? It's 10 years old, and it's basically like early story of maybe like Mariah Carey, like what it's like to date somebody when you're super famous. And
this isn't Glitter, right? I don't want to sit through Glitter.
No. This is Gina Prince Bythewood directed this, so it's the focus,
Yes.
And it's anyway. You should watch that. Love and Basketball, obviously, you should be watching.
Yes.
And you don't have to know basketball to love it.
It's true.
bringing it back to Dylan in this movie.
So I'm very excited to watch this again. I'll
Saw it immediately when it came out. I actually heard from a lot of people that were watching, and maybe it was just my little bubble, but I heard the buzz, and that made me want to go see it. And I saw it, and I was really not disappointed. That's a fantastic film. Can't wait to cover it. So glad you picked it. Thank you, Matt.
Good choice, Matt.
Good choice. All right. Well, listeners, we would love to hear what you thought of today's episode and hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, to continue the discussion there. You can also send your thoughts to @CinemaZPod on BlueSky and let us know if you'd like to recommend a film. Please follow the network on BlueSky and Instagram @BQN Podcasts, and also CinemaZ on BlueSky. Okay, we're there too. Don't forget, you can enjoy the conversation. You can join the conversation with BQN hosts and fellow fans on our Discord server as well. Just reach out to any of us. We'll give you the link. It changes all the time. I'm not popping it in the notes. Just reach out to us. All right. All right. So, Mel, where can people find you when you are not just becoming the next it girl online?
I am on BlueSky @Mel.
We know.
Yes, but not everybody listening knows. I mean, come on. If I'm going to plug, I'm going to plug. It's Mel-med-Larson. That's an O-N, med with one D, and Mel, M-E-L. Mel Med Larson @BlueSky. Social. And I'm actually revving up a little resistance movement there called the Let's Go Girl Resistance.
Yes.
And it's for the ladies, gays, and theys, you know who you are, theys, to take up and fight this shit. So that's what I'm doing there.
Absolutely necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel.
And Matt, when you're not sitting in the theater picturing a movie as an actual play, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, BlueSky, Threads, and TikTok on @1701BLERD. I wrote a web series and started a web series about a gay black nerd that uses Star Trek to cope with life.
Oh, I love that.
Please watch it.
I will watch it. That's a good idea.
It's good. It's good.
Thank you, sir. You can find the link in my bio on the Instagram. I put up some clips as well, and I just finished the first draft of my 4th episode, which is going to be the premiere of season 2. So I'm really excited. All I can say is Klingons and drag queens.
Oh my God, Matt, you are making it happen. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Paramount, support me. Paramount, give me money. Paramount, please.
Oh, I'll do my tiny bit.
And Mark, where can people find you when you are not wooing a lovely young French woman?
You stumped him. Nicely done.
Oui, mon chéri.
Oh no. Oh God. Oh, we're gonna get canceled. Oh no. This is the last
I was
episode.
trying to think of something French. Okay. When I'm not doing that, or picturing Mel on a couch in a slinky nightgown, you can.
Red velvet. I don't know why.
You guys can find me all over BlueSky. Not as much as Mel, clearly, but but I'm still there. I'm not really doing anything else these days because I'm just letting our listeners know I take time for you, listeners. If you're around stuff in your life, if you found some things in your life, whether it's a TV show, a movie that you used to love, newspapers you used to love, whatever it is, the thing that you used to do, if it's now causing you pain and making you feel like toxicity, avoid it. So I'm not on really Facebook these days, so I'm not really in the collective, but If you want to find me, jump on BlueSky. All right, that's my suggestion. And Instagram, I still kind of post pictures of my dog, but yeah, that's it. Well, please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a star rating and written review because that helps others to find the show. You can also follow the entire network's podcast with our master feed by searching BQN.
At this time, we would like to thank our associate producer, Amy Nelson.
What's up, Amy?
A special thanks to Las Marquez for our original show art. The opening and closing music for this podcast is titled Dancing Dead and was provided by Ketsa from the Free Music Archive, providing royalty-free music for content creators.
If you'd like to help us keep all our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. We will add you to the Hive Mind Facebook group so you can enjoy its screen, Amy's math moments, and other network perks. With a monthly subscription of $5 or more, you can join our meetings on the Hive Mind Roundtable discussion on the second Saturday of each month. Visit patreon.com/BQN to get all of the details and watch your mysteries.
Hey, thanks, Will, for listening.
We hope you'll tune in next time.
I have to throw one of them in there.
And I have to pee. Honey, I am living that life in the tiniest way. There's only so much you can do, you know?
Right.
No, I know everybody's hitting you up for your thirst traps.
I mean, Mark.
Yeah.
55. I had 55 first dates in the last calendar year. In
Good for you.
55.
Wow.
You hear it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Melly chews up those men and she spits them out.
Well, it's not an accomplishment when you think that I had to have that many.
I love that.
Her headboard's gonna fall off from all that hat marks in it.
I'm just saying women in their 50s. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
You get it.
Oh, I am. My kids, actually, I don't care if my kids hear this. They know.
I am applauding. I call them homents. Have your homant. Have that.
Stealing. I am so stealing homant.
Steal it. Have your homants. Have them. Listeners, have your homant. And also be safe. Get on PrEP.
Yes.
This episode has been sponsored once again by PrEP.
Thank you, Mark. Yes.
Come on, PrEP. Sponsor it. Good sponsor. Get on it.